Yes, the Nikon F-mount M42 adapter, which will allow you to mount your M42 lenses, if you have any, onto a Nikon camera body, whether it be an autofocus camera, a modern DSLR, etc. DSLR. Oh, I'll get there. Digital single lens reflex camera. And basically I was going to just show you on this little Nikon D3200 body, and with these adapters it allows you to use some quite nice lenses of yesteryear, and they're available at such low money. I bought this little Helios 58mm Zenith 58mm focal length f2 lens, which is the M42 screw mount. If anybody knows what that is, I'll have to just focus you onto there. That is the M42 screw mount. And these lenses are available for very little money. I think I paid about €40 for this one, and it's in very, very good condition. It's pretty A1 condition. It's a bit dirty at the moment, need to clean. But to be able to use these lenses on a modern autofocus camera is quite a bonus. Now, you do lose some automation. You do lose some automation in the form of the autofocus and any auto aperture control. But what it does afford you is the ability to buy cheap second-hand lenses that some people are pretty much giving away, and use them on your DSLR camera body. Now this is this is for the Nikon. I believe you can get them for the Canon as well, but it is quite a bonus, and it's something that allows you to utilise lenses that you wouldn't be able to experience otherwise. Especially the quality of these things. It's actually quite a nice lens. Yeah, it's Russian, and I used to have an old Zenith camera, Zenith XP12. And used to have like 2 or 3 LEDs in the viewfinder. That was quite modern for Zenith at the time. To use these old lenses, you need an adapter. So these adapters are available at quite low money, really. They don't cost a lot at all. And there's this one which doesn't have the objective in it, and I'll explain why. And then you've got this one which does have the objective in it, which I will explain why. Now, whereas these ones without the objective, so there's nothing in there, will affect your focusing distance, whereas this one is corrected. It should be pretty much the same. With that one, without the corrective lens, you will lose your infinity focusing. So you will not be able to focus over a distance. Let's say, for instance, in this case, with that lens, I found it to be about 50 centimetres ish. So yes, you can focus very close with it, and probably good 1-to-1, if not a little bit better than that. As a macro adapter, this effectively behaves like a macro tube that you would have a series of tubes put between lenses to allow you to focus very, very closely. This behaves like that. It doesn't have the corrective lens. Whereas this one compensates with that lens in there. You can see that with that lens, it actually compensates the focusing. So it allows you to focus at the normal distance, or whatever your lens is. In this case, it's probably about 30 centimetres or something like that. What's this one? This one is... Oh, no, it is half a metre. But then it allows you to focus into infinity. So effectively you can use the lens normally as it's designed to be. Yeah. These things, you need a reasonable quality one. This one seems to be okay. Obviously the glass quality will affect the image quality. So it's basically, you get what you pay for. And this one obviously doesn't affect the image quality whatsoever, because all you're doing is really joining the lens to the camera body, yeah, but it does create a distance between the lens and the camera body. They're very easy to use. I find it easier to put the mount on first. So in this case, you put it on here like so. I line up the marks. They never put them on very easy. Where did it go? Yeah, there it is. There's a little red dot on this one, and I've lost it again. Oh, there it is. You line up with your little white dot on your camera, and you've got anti-clockwise on the anti-clockwise. Yeah, that nice satisfying click. And then I like to then screw the lens to the mount, and that way you can tighten the lens up quite nicely because the actual adapter is fixed in the actual mount, the bayonet Nikon F mount. So there's the lens on, but what you'll see what happen is there's certain things you want me to do with it. So if I put it, for instance, on auto and then turn the camera on, so if it just focuses on you. Excuse me for using manual focus, but the autofocus on this particular camera is awful. When you use it for video, it tends to hunt around all over the place and loses focus. And now I'm turning this on, and as you see on the back here, it says lens not attached. And on this is on the D3200. Now, it is attached, but it's not the official Nikon lens which has got the electronics in it. So as far as it knows, there's no lens. So what you do is you can change your settings to manual, such as that. Turn the camera on again, and now it doesn't give a monkeys. It's quite happy there isn't a lens there because it's assuming you're attached to something else. And in this case, we're attached to a lens that has no electronics. So we can adjust the aperture quite happily, or the shutter speed in this case, and then the aperture can be changed, right? But you cannot change the aperture because there's no electronic linkage between the lens, or manual linkage between this lens and the camera body. You have to do everything manually. So everything on here is adjusted manually. So if I turn this camera on and put it onto live view for you, so you can see what's going on, you can see the image on the back here, and I won't be able to focus. Now if I put this into affinity focusing of, I'll say infinity, I'll say far that way there, it's just about 2.5, 3 metres. Hello Dora. It's my dog. My little doggy down here. What a fuss. Go away. Oh, hello. Say hi. Say hi. That's my Dora. Right, and on the back here, if you look, there should be some degree of focus on the back wall, and there's nothing at all, as you say, nothing whatsoever. And so you think, oh, well, how do I do that? But if I put my hand closer to the camera, as you see, my hand's coming in and out of focus. My hand is going in and out of focus. So the further away it is, the more out of focus it is. And that's at its infinity setting. If I actually set this so I go to 0.5 metre, which is as close as focus on this particular lens, and at the moment I am about 0.5 metre away, as you see it's out of focus, so it should be in focus thereabouts. Especially at this aperture, because I'm on f16 at the moment. No, I'm not, I'm 2.8 what I'm talking about. And as I come in closer and closer and closer, my hand will come in focus, as you see there, and that is probably about my hand's about 20 centimetres away from the lens. Yeah, and that is at its closest focusing distance for this lens, but you can get a lot closer. But that's like 1:1. That's a good 1:1. So that's a cheap macro lens. You know, bigger lens of that sort of quality. But if, for instance, you need to focus in infinity, I'd use the other mount. So let's unscrew this. This one's quite easy to unscrew. This one's because of the thickness of it. You have this machined grip, whereas this one, they've got hardly anything on there. It's a lot thinner. They've actually mounted the lens and everything into the body more, whereas this one's more surface and protruding. So what I'll do is I'll mount that onto the lens. So what I'm showing you here really is the difference between the two M42 mount adapters for the Nikon F mount camera. Camera lens. So now if I do it, I should be able to pre-focus this to say 2.5, 3 meters, say 3 meters there. And if you look, I don't know if you can see that very well on here actually. Camera's out of focus, there you go, just focus up onto that camera, so it is there. And if I can focus onto it, you can see it's coming in focus with a speaker and a guitar, a mandolin. You can see that is not totally focused because I can't really see it very well because I'm looking at an image in an image in an image. So yeah, so with the adapter with the corrective lens, it allows you to focus at a distance, whereas the one without the corrective lens, I know I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry for that, but I just want to make certain that you're clear the difference between the two. The one without the corrective lens will give you a very short focusing distance. You will not be able to focus to infinity. But the one with the corrective lens will allow you to focus to infinity. So that is actually quite a nice little setup really for very, very little money. Very easy to, with this particular mount, because there's nothing there to grip hold of, I tend to unscrew, while the mount is still in the camera, I will unscrew the lens instead of removing the camera with the lens, and then I can then easily, by pressing the button there and clockwise motion, I can easily remove the actual mount from the camera body. So there you have it. We have the Nikon F mount adapter with a corrective lens, and we have the one without the corrective lens. Both of them have their uses, but if you want to use your M42 lens without any aggravation, or use it as it is designed, well then you need one of these. So I hope you found that of interest in that. I apologise for my dog's barking in the background. Waddy! Waddy, shut up! You know to be quiet when I'm doing a vlog! Or a review! Or video! Stupid apples. Oh dear, gotta love them, haven't you? I hope you found that of interest and made it clear for you regarding the difference between the two mounts. And yeah, give us a thumbs up, will you guys? And yeah, and subscribe if you will. That'd be really cool. And if you want receiving notifications of anything else that we do, yeah, just subscribe. And I think there's that little bell thing at the bottom, and you can choose whether or not you want us get notifications or not. So yeah, thank you for watching. Are you still there? Are you there? Are you there? Are you still there?